First off, spoiler warning. We're going to be talking almost exclusively Star Wars spoilers. So if you haven't seen the movie yet, you should probably turn off this video right now. Oh my gosh, Han Solo. Oh my gosh. No, we're going to talk about Star Wars. We're going to talk about all parts of Star Wars, and then maybe if Steve gets online, he'll join us. But what'd you think of it? Right? No thanks. I'll go check out that third Star Trek with the Beastie Boys track.
Exactly. Review over. I have a lot of thoughts.
You have a lot of thoughts?
I have too many thoughts to I don't know.
Do we want to just let's not go through this in order. Forget it. I made a list, but we could jump around this list. Let's just start with
the point of the list then?
Well, we'll stick to the
list.
list.
You literally just said I wrote a list, so don't jump around. Now
we'll stick to the list.
We'll
stick to the list, but we'll go point by point on the list, but we'll just reorganize it. Let's move it to the top. Han Solo died. Did you see it coming?
I saw it coming in the scene. I was one of those people who knew it was going to happen before the movie. There are people who already speculated it.
Right.
I wasn't that person, but I saw it coming as soon as he stopped what he was doing and went after Kylo Ren. And I was like, nah, he's gonna die. And then, you see him walk out on that bottomless pit.
Yeah, the Bespin 2.0.
Right, how would a person not die on that? How do stormtroopers not die every day trying to run across that?
Serious OSHA violations.
Yeah. They probably have that sign up that's it's been 0 days since our last accident. So I knew it then, but I don't know. There's a lot of playing around with emotions where you think maybe it won't happen, and maybe he's getting through to him, and oh no, he took the lightsaber out, but maybe it'll be okay, and then it's not okay. It's never okay. So.
I'll say though that was what made it okay to me. A good death was because it didn't feel I feel like the way Hollywood would have done it, and this is how I judge a lot of movies, is how could have Hollywood ruined it and they didn't, is it would have been him pretending to struggle with the light side, and then he's tricked you, and he stabs him and he throws him off. But it really felt like Kylo Ren was struggling, and his dad tried to help him, and someone made a good point online, which is this is probably the best death you can give Han Solo. This is a smuggler who would have otherwise hold on, Steve is now G-chatting me.
Good.
I texted. We're
right
on
in the middle
Skype.
of the most important thing that we're discussing.
I know, right? He's this smuggler who's scammed over all these people. He's a part of the rebellion. He's been chased by Boba Fett and Jabba, and any death at the hands of anybody he owed a debt to would have felt cheap and unfitting of Han Solo, or just being shot by an Imperial. But he died trying to help his son. That's probably the most honorable death he could have been handed, and I think that's great. That's a good way for the character to go.
Yeah.
And I guess it all clicked into place. Like you said, it was the moment he looked and he saw Ben walking across the thing, and he started to follow after him. I was like, oh, he's dead. I knew he's dead. Everything clicked into place. It was just that scene added with the fact that we've known for a long time that Harrison Ford wanted Han Solo to die.
Right.
And it just sort of explained why he was so happy during the marketing of this movie. And I think now we know it's because it's the last time he's ever going to have to do it.
Basically, yeah.
So I think all of those came together, and it was just oh, man. And that made my heart race. Even though I knew what was going to happen, I was on the edge of my seat.
Yeah, I cried.
Yeah.
I definitely cried both times I saw it. But, yeah.
What didn't you like about the movie?
Very little. I have to actually think about this. I can sort of agree that, yes, some of it is pretty similar to the original movies. I don't see the argument. People are really upset about this. I'm not, upset about it, but there's definitely, obviously, the Star Killer and,
Death Star.
Death Star, sure, yeah. I mean, I agree that was all a little too similar, and then it does almost feel in the last 30, 40 minutes that things kind of happen very quickly. It's oh, we gotta take out this Star Killer. How are we gonna do it? Bring down the shields. Okay, bring down the shields.
Sounds good. Let's do that.
Yeah. And so, there's a part of me that gets why it just had to be done in the first movie, because nobody would have wanted that drawn out as a plot line.
Right.
So now they can just like be done and over with and get to, episode 8 and 9 and like have new interesting plots. But it does feel a little like quick and a little convenient, I guess.
We were in the middle of talking about what we didn't like about Star Wars.
I'm back.
Hello.
Good.
It was really, really good.
No, we're talking about what we didn't like about it.
Yeah, that conversation's over, right?
Because we're in the middle. We were in the middle of talking about that. Christine was talking about how rushed the plan to blow up Starkiller Base was.
Yeah, because it was the same plan in A New Hope. They didn't need to say it. You knew it already.
I
didn't like that. I didn't care about blowing up the base.
Yeah, neither did I.
I still get excited when we blow up the Death Star, but I didn't care about them blowing up the base because the fight between Rey and Kylo was just way better. Mm-hmm. They didn't even need to blow up the base.
Yeah. Well, they kind of had to, I guess.
They just could have just had to break it.
Just break it.
Just break it. Like it doesn't work. This is gonna take. It's gonna take. Just break it temporarily.
No, because then it comes back and.
Make it the trilogy boss. The boss battle. What do we think of Rey?
I loved her.
She's great.
Should I speak more on that?
She was great. Good talk.
She's good. She's a good character. I'm fairly certain. I believe she's a Solo as well.
Yeah. No? I think maybe she's a Skywalker. I don't know.
I don't think she's a Skywalker. I don't think she is.
The whole thing.
I don't care. Everything's great. Everything's great. Movie's great. Go see the movie again. Gonna go see it on New Year's.
It just hit $1 billion today. I think Finn's great too.
Is this as deep as we're getting into characters?
I mean, I like what I like about. I think I like Finn as a character more than Rey. I think is a good character, but I think it's going to take the other 2 movies to see more of an arc. I like Finn's character because he doesn't. He's just like he's so one-dimensional, but in a very entertaining way. Like he just wants to be a good guy. Like he wants to do what's good, and that's it. Yeah. There's no like anti-hero or anything like that.
I'm a really big fan of the Finn Poe bromance. Like, really big fan. Like, I'm loving all of the memes that are coming out off of it. They're the best romance in that movie, basically. Yeah.
And we definitely need to see more Poe in the next movie.
Yes. I mean, for such a minor character, he was just, I don't know, he was great. He was great.
Wait, did you see the thing that said, what was it? Who you have to choose one person to die: Rey, Finn, Poe, or BB-8.
Oh my God! What?
One of them has to die?
Yeah, Rob, come on, you can answer this.
I guess.
I can't believe you both taken so long. Now everyone's dead.
Rey, I guess.
What?
Rey? Yeah.
Are you sick?
I need my Finn Poe bromance, and I need my BB-8.
BB-8 cannot die.
That was from Twitter at Cohen is a Ghost.
Rey can't die.
You're both fools.
I think it would be Finn.
Without hesitation.
No way. What are you, out of your mind? BB-8?
Oh, God.
BB-8 was like one of the greatest characters in the movie.
Yeah, right. BB-8 has to be... BB-8's the R2 of this trilogy. He can't die. He has to be around for all of those movies. Yeah. Finn, I think, can go.
BB-8, dead. You guys have bad taste.
No way. You're out of your mind. I want a real BB-8.
Yeah.
BB-8 is the star of this movie.
Yeah.
You're wrong.
He is the awakening that happens. BB-8.
Here's the thing.
Oh no, what's the thing?
He hung up, I think.
Oh, did he really? I like Rey because so it's interesting because you look at like the characters in the other movies, and I feel like they kind of flipped a lot of what you expected like on its ear. Like Rey is not the helpless princess that needs help. She is, I don't know, she's very genuine. She's almost kind of adorable in the beginning of the movie. And then I thought it was just so interesting to see the Force actually awaken in somebody. Like, you and I have talked about this before. You don't actually really see it with some of the other characters. Like, Luke goes to all his training, and he's reluctant, and da-da-da. But, like, this is the first character that's, like, she has that moment. and then all of a sudden is just so self-aware of it and becoming so strong in such a short amount of time. And I think that's just really cool.
There's a theory that she already had it and her memories were suppressed or something when she was left on the planet. This is what I think is one of the exciting parts of this movie is like, it's part 1 of 3 and we still have 2 movies to speculate about and get more story. Yeah. And we had the opportunity to do that with the prequels, but the prequels ended up sucking. So more of the speculation was just like, I hope the movie's good this time. I hope it's better. Whereas like now it started off well, so we can speculate about what's actually happening and what we're going to learn about. Wait, I'm excited for that.
Let's talk about Kylo Ren.
Yeah, and how he's probably the best villain in a Star Wars.
Thank you. I feel like it's a very split, like people are super split about him because some people are like, oh, he's just a whiny whatever. And I'm like, no, you want whiny? Go see Anakin in the prequels.
He was a better Anakin than Anakin was.
Right. And because there was nothing believable about the person that Anakin was becoming Darth Vader. Nothing about those two like connected.
He turned in a matter of like a half hour.
Yeah, and their personalities, the way they were just so different. It's hard to believe it's the same person.
Right.
And I don't think Kylo Ren is whiny at all. I think it's just a really good showing of like how manipulative the dark side can be, because obviously he was. That they say that like he was manipulated.
I thought it was interesting because like we've seen a trilogy and we see this whole premise of like this is you're on the light side and the temptation is the dark side. But I like the idea that like the temptation exists on their end too, and they have to deal with the temptation of the light side where it's like you have to hold back on both ends. I thought that was interesting.
Right. And just the idea that we always have these very like focused just completely badass Sith and all, like, Darth Vader, just Darth Vader. And even, like, Darth Maul, who is in one movie, was still, like, just cold, calculated, whatever.
Right.
And then you have this Sith who is none of that. He's completely crazy.
Yeah.
Suffice to say, he's crazy. He made, it was like millions of dollars of damage with his lightsaber. All those computers there, man.
Right. Those are not cheap.
He is... Yeah, he really is torn. We were talking about like the lightsaber looking like it was kind of thrown together, and the light not being as, what is the word I'm looking for?
Just steady?
Focused, yeah. Which is kind of reflective of like who he is, and it's just interesting to see the rage side of the dark side that we hear so much about. Like that rage leads to the dark side, but like we don't really see it that much,
right?
So it's just interesting.
And I just think in general, I mean, people criticize that his overall motivation is he wants to be like Papa Vader, but like I don't think that that's an invalid motivation. No, it's like he looks at Vader as like, oh, this is the second in command of the Empire. Like I think it's just an extension of like,
someone idolized,
being the heir of somebody powerful and wanting to have that. And I think it's interesting because I sort of sympathized with him up until the moment he kills Han.
Sure.
And that's exactly what I think the movie wants you to do.
Interesting is I still like him. Like I don't.
Oh yeah, you like him as a character.
I don't exactly. And I feel like it could be very easy to be like, oh no, we just hate him and that's it. And sure, now I'm like, oh, I killed Han, so like you want to see something happen to him, but at the same time, like as an overall character, I like him. Like I don't know.
A more traditional bad guy like Darth Vader is like you're supposed to dislike him because he's the bad guy and that's it. But here it's like he's done things that make you dislike him.
Sure.
And you've seen the struggle to know that he's not just a one-dimensional like I'm evil because evil's cool. The end.
And still have some sympathy for him because he is the son of Han.
And I think it's going to come. So. And I think it's going to come back to him, and he's going to be haunted by the fact that he killed his dad.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to feel awful. Like, everything about it, I've watched it 3 times now, and I'm planning to see it 2 more times. And, like, the movie never feels slow for me. It doesn't feel boring at any point.
Yeah.
It flows perfectly. It's a funny movie. It's like the funniest Star Wars I think that was ever made.
Yeah.
And just, it's funny because I'm reading the novelization. And the novelization, it's more or less the exact as the same thing as the movie, but the biggest change is there's a lot more dialogue, and it made me appreciate how tight the dialogue in this movie is. It's like they never say more than they have to. Everything is a good representation of the character, and it's out there, and it covers it and moves on. And only by reading the novelization and going like, why am I reading all this dialogue that doesn't need to be here, do I realize how good it is in this movie. And I think Kasdan and Abrams just work great together in that regard.
Let's talk about
Luke, we see him in this one was like super, I think it was a super common prediction was that you weren't going to see Luke until the very end.
Because
he was the MacGuffin.
Him from advertising and all
that. And I think that was a good idea. Like the point that J.J. Abrams made that I think is a very fair one is like whenever they tried to write the movie in which he comes in the middle, he immediately takes over the film because he's Luke Skywalker. Like Rey would take backseat to Luke at any point. So rather than not leave him out completely or just have him take over and overshadow Rey and the others is make him show up at the end, make him the MacGuffin. And it worked, I think, in my opinion. And I'm excited to see what happens with that.
I feel like Rey is still standing there with the lightsaber.
Oh, she's still holding it
there.
out.
It's been weeks.
It's going to be years.
It's going to be 2 years.
And then finally, after 2 years, she's going to put the lightsaber down and he's going to go, your training is complete. You have the patience of a Jedi now. And that's it. It's interesting because I was thinking about it. Like the context of this movie coming out excuses what I think other people are saying is wrong with it. Like this is 30 years later from the last good movie and from the continuation of this story. And so to me, it seems okay that they're rehashing episode 4 because at that point, that's 36 years or so. And so I don't mind that they're just basically reusing the Star Wars plot because it's been that long. Now, if they do the same thing in episode 9, that's a problem, but I don't think they're going to do that. No. And I don't know. I thought that was pretty safe. And I really liked everything about it. I loved how they used practical effects.
What do you think is going to happen in episode 8?
I think the next movie is going to be Rey training with Luke as the B plot, and maybe something happens there. And then the A plot's going to be Captain Phasma, who's no way is she dead. You do not hire her.
Somebody else was just saying that to me recently. It was like, I really want to know Captain Phasma's story, and she's not dead, and
There's no way she's dead. You don't see a body, and you don't hire an actress like that just to kill her off in like that. So I think it's going to be her hunting down like Finn and Poe and the leaders of the Resistance. And so I think that's going to be a big part of the movie. I suspect we're not going to see Kylo at all in the next movie. I think that'd be cool. Just have him disappear.
Very small way.
Yeah, minor part. And I don't know. It's interesting.
Even ends. Maybe have him not even really be in episode 8.
His reveal.
But culminate with whatever his finishing of his training is.
Right.
Because we don't know what that is.
And what
just
he looks
be the end of episode 8.
Remember, his helmet's gone now, so that mask is over. Right. And he's got all scars on his face from losing that battle. So I think he'll look like a pretty sweet, cool Sith. Or maybe he'll actually need a mask now. Or a partial mask or something. Who knows?
Yeah.
I just think we're going to see more of Captain Phasma. I think it'll be interesting because Rian Johnson's directing, and he's a very different style director from J.J. Abrams. So, and he's the rumor I heard was that JJ read the script for 8 and actually is like for the first time he like regrets like stepping away. Yeah. So I'm really excited. I'm just psyched. I'm ready to go see it again. I'm going to see it twice this week. So, but yeah, Star Wars A+. Let us know in the comments below what your theories are about what's going to happen. This is a spoiler-filled zone, so you could talk about Han dying here and Kylo and just what you think is going to happen. Let us know all your crazy theories, because this is the fun part of being a Star Wars fan in between a trilogy, is that you get to make all these crazy theories. Thank you for joining me. Thanks to Steve and his cameo of sorts.
Such a BB-8 hater.
Yeah, right?
BB hater.
Who could say that about BB-8?
I don't know.
He was just trying to stir the pot. That must have been it. I'm going to go read Star Wars. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks for watching. Hope we'll do whatever you do this week. Make the most of it because it makes it that much better. Hope to see you next time for the next Star Wars Episode 8 review in 2 years. Bye.
Bye.
A year and a half. Bye.